On a turnover of 40 million, assuming 400 million, a 10% production subsidy, that is 40 million over a period of 10 years, amounting to 400 million, is reimbursed as part of production subsidy. In addition to that, there are investment allowances, there are other incentives that are available. State governments have come up with their own set of incentives. Today, states are very proactively promoting investment, especially in fab technology. They recognize that this is something which requires special support. Government of India recognizes that this is an area which requires special support. And therefore, there is conscious effort on the parts of the government to go out of the way to develop the fab ecosystem in the country. The interesting part of fab is that unlike other, when we set up an IT company or when we set up an electronics manufacturing company, we typically talk of impact on the ecosystem being 1:4 or thereabout, 1:5. It has been proven elsewhere worldwide, wherever the fab ecosystem has developed, the impact of economy can range between 1:25 to 1:30. From the sheer effect of downstream industry that it can create and the whole ecosystem of innovation it can create. A fab can create the whole ecosystem for developing new chips which can be manufactured in the fab, a new set of products which can cater to the domestic needs in the country. So the impact, once the fab ecosystem, in fact, if you look at globally, the countries which have dominated in the electronics production in the world, one of the focal point in each of these ecosystems has been the central presence of the fab technology. Whether it was US 20 years back and even continues to be now to a large extent, whether it was Taiwan, whether it was Japan, whether it was Korea, whether it was Singapore, all these countries had, the fabs had a major role to create the whole, or China for that matter, which plays such an important role in the global electronic supply chain today. The fab played a fundamental role in developing that ecosystem. And it is in this ecosystem that we want to develop. But another very important part is on which we need to take action is the development of human resource for the fab ecosystem. This is highly specialized. We as a country, we are proud of the fact that we produce over 500,000 engineers every year. But I think what fab requires is highly specialized skill sets, whether it is on the design side or whether it is on the manufacturing side. There are very few people in this country who actually know how to operate machines which are used for etching or lithography or other operations which are part of the fab operations. In fact, there are very few people who have seen this, but we have a large number of expats who have this experience. It is high time that we leverage the experience of some of our experienced and people who have done extremely well abroad in this sector to see how they can come and contribute to developing the requisite human resource. From the government side, government provides financial support. In fact, we have today schemes which provide financial support for skill development in all areas of electronics design and manufacturing, including fab technology. And I think between the states and the central government, the financial part can be addressed. But I think what is more important is to be able to work along with industry. A lot of technology development in this sector has happened in industry. And we need to work along with industry to see how the requisite manpower that is required to be part of the ecosystem can be addressed. The other side is on the PhD side. Taiwan produces about 100 times more PhDs in semiconductor technology than India as a country does. The number may, if I say 100 times, this is not an exaggeration, it could possibly be an understatement. We need to change this. We from the government side have, Government of India side have come out with a scheme where we are encouraging universities to increase their capacity to take up more PhD students in fields which are specific to industry interest. This is again broad-based scheme, allows all sectors of electronics. But I think within this scheme, it provides room for enhancing the number of PhD students in the country in fab technologies, in the area of photonics specifically, or in any other emerging technology area which is of interest. If Telangana government takes the lead in setting up a photonics technology ecosystem in this part, I would strongly urge the academic institutions in this area to come forward and start a big PhD program in photonics area, which would not only be a great support for the industrial ecosystem, but overall make it easier for people to, these industries to get requisite human resource for their needs. The story will not be complete without talking about startups. I think we need to start looking at startups slightly differently. Till now, we have been thinking in terms of startups as companies who would do, small scale, incremental, kind of work. There is the way by which technology has grown by leaps and bounds. One is aware of companies who have, with government support or without government support, with industry support, in other more active startup ecosystems like the Silicon Valley or in Israel, been able to come up with technologies which have totally captured the industry and the sector. All emerging technologies without holds could be within the domain of startups. Telangana is coming up, the T-Hub initiative which has been started in Telangana creates a good infrastructure and a good opportunity for startups to take advantage of this. From Government of India, we are supporting a similar initiative in the IIT Hyderabad setup, where a fabulous design incubation center with necessary tools and facilities will be available. That incubation center can be taken advantage of by potential startups, especially those who are working in fab technologies, including those related to photonics. This could, in all of this, I think the Electronic Development Fund, which has been set up, which provides a very genuine and a realistic venture capital ecosystem funding towards semiconductor technologies, electronic design manufacturing technologies, is today available in the country, and there is significant interest in this area which is happening. All this put together gives a huge opportunity for new startups coming in the area of fab technologies, in the area of photonics. So I think we are today looking at a potentially, given the fact, the importance that fab technologies have, given the fact that Make in India in defense is so much of a thrust area for government, and given the fact that electronics is so important for defense, and if what the strategic independence in defense will not happen unless the chip is manufactured in India, I think it is it's not wrong to say that developing the fab ecosystem in the country, it's high time that we are able to bring together the collective efforts of all players in this game to get the fab ecosystem going in the country. I think this discussion today is going to be important in trying to bring the dialogue of all the connected players in this regard, and I hope that going forward we will see specific action on the ground. I once again thank the organizers and wish their efforts all the very best. Thank you.